Okay, guys, so Nick J. Fuentes is at it again, so let's check out exactly what I have to say. Check it out.
Like I said, with the Tate brothers, there isn't really too much to say in the way of news that you probably can't predict. But our other big story from the weekend, our featured story, is that the Tate brothers have been arrested in Miami, Florida. They were arrested on Saturday. They were supposed to attend this boxing event or something, and they got picked up by the cops. They have been thrown in federal prison where they await a hearing next week. So they're going to be in prison for a whole week. Their lawyer says they're in solitary confinement. And this is because the United Kingdom has made a request to extradite them, where they will face a total of 58 charges between the two of them related to sex crimes that they allegedly committed over a decade ago. And this is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, "The influencer brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate will remain in custody as their lawyers told the court on Monday that they plan to fight extradition to England to face new charges of rape and sex trafficking. The Tates appeared in federal court after marshals arrested them on Saturday at a boxing event in downtown Miami. Their attorney, Joseph McBride, told reporters after the hearing that the charges were politically motivated. The Tates have hired the high-profile South Florida law firm of Roy Black to fight the extradition. The attorneys will convene before a magistrate judge in 1 week to discuss scheduling a hearing to decide whether the brothers will remain in detention while they fight the extradition. According to British prosecutors, the latest charges stem from incidents involving 4 women that occurred between July 2010 and August 2017. Andrew Tate is facing 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, 3 counts of assault, and 19 more charges relating to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. Tristan Tate is facing of rape and 3 counts of sex trafficking. In all, prosecutors in the UK have brought 59 charges against the brothers. British law enforcement had previously charged them with rape and human trafficking in relation to incidents involving 3 women between 2012 and 2015. So, what more is there to say about this that hasn't already been said? It is first of all, let's just say this. Obviously, this is politically motivated, of course. And people want to weigh in. So right away when I saw this arrest on Saturday, I went out on Twitter and said, "Free Andrew and Tristan Tate." And I was surprised how much criticism I got for the post. From Ben Shapiro and his Shabbos Goy, Matt Fradd, and others. They said, actually, don't free them because they are a bunch of brown rapists that have sex with white women. And I want to say, so what is it about Andrew and Tristan Tate that makes them any different from every other man that has been accused under Me Too? How is this any different? This is the Me Too movement. They do the same thing to Donald Trump. They do the same thing to all these people. If you become a political target, you're accused of rape. If you become a high-profile political person on the right, and specifically someone on the right that is challenging the status quo, it's a sexual assault allegation. It's a rape allegation. And these allegations never change. It's always the same. Obviously, it's politically motivated. Was there this much interest after we saw the Epstein files? 3 million Epstein files. How many people associated with Jeffrey Epstein, who, although I've said nice things about Epstein, he was a sex criminal. We could have an adult conversation about Epstein, and I have. Epstein was a sex criminal. High-profile people were on his island and were associates of his and did business with him. And none of those people have been named as persons of interest in any investigation. None of them have been charged, extradited, anything like that. You never heard anything about it. Peter Thiel is named in the files. Ronald Lauder is named in the files. All these people are named in the files. Nothing happens to them. They're not investigated. They're not questioned. They're not charged. Nothing. So why are Romania and the UK and the United States, and specifically the state of Florida, why are they so interested in the Tate brothers and what happened 15 years ago? It's because of politics. These prosecutors didn't wake up and suddenly find evidence from 2012 or 2011 about Andrew and Tristan Tate, they dug it up. They went on a fishing expedition. The UK government declared them a national security threat. The UK and probably the Biden administration determined that Andrew and Tristan Tate were too right-wing and too popular, especially with young men, too viral, not controlled. And so they went looking. They went looking and they said, what do we have on these guys? What can we use against them? How can we get these guys? That's always how they do it. Anybody the regime doesn't like, they just go looking for stuff. They go on a fishing expedition. They're just looking for things to charge them with. And we all know Andrew and Tristan Tate were involved in that business with cam girls and pornography, and I don't approve of that. I think that's wicked. I think it's evil. I think it's wrong. And we can say that what they did was wrong, and we could say that what they did was wicked, and we could say that they're involved in an industry which is pure evil. We could also recognize that this is a politically motivated prosecution, which, by the way, is selectively enforced. People want to say, well, they're degenerate pornographers. Certainly that was true at one time. But let's be honest. This country is filled with degenerate pornographers. Do you see the head of OnlyFans being dragged away in handcuffs? Do you see the head of Pornhub and MindGeek? Are they being dragged away in handcuffs? Arguably, and I think this is just being honest, Elon Musk has become one of the number one purveyors of pornography. Under his leadership, the X platform probably is one of the number one porn sites on the internet. Probably bigger than Pornhub, maybe even bigger than OnlyFans at this point. How much pornography is on X? Does anybody say that Elon Musk is a pornographer that belongs in jail and so on and so forth? No, nobody even talks about that. For some reason, nobody even mentions that. So if you passed a law that said anybody that does or ever did make pornography is going to jail, okay, then they should go to jail. But at this point in time, we realize, no, pornography is not only tolerated, it's promoted everywhere. But it's just that when a couple of right-wing people had been involved in it in the past, it is selectively used for the purpose of putting them in jail, to silence them. That's what that is. So I said this on Twitter. I said, free Andrew and Tristan Tate. And people said, did you call yourself a Catholic? And you say you're Christian? How could you say that? Listen, I feel perfectly comfortable condemning what they did while also saying they are being charged for it because of a political motive. It's no different than Trump. Trump has been divorced how many times? Trump probably cheated on his wife with a porn star. Trump's a degenerate. And similarly, I don't think he should go to jail for it. I don't think it's proper for him to have to pay out $50 million to his accuser. It's political for him too. It's political for Brett Kavanaugh. It's political when this happens to powerful people. If you have accusers that come forward from 15 years ago and they say, I didn't have a problem for 15 years, but then my ex-boyfriend got super rich and super famous and also happens to be super right-wing, and now I have something to say, I don't believe you. And I also don't believe you if your case is taken up or funded by activist organizations that are ideologically left-wing, because they go looking for plaintiffs that can bring a case against these people. It happened in a different way to Alex Jones. Forever, these left-wing groups wanted to take down Alex Jones. You think those Sandy Hook parents were just really these aggrieved victims? Don't get me wrong, I think some bad things happened to those people. But clearly, left-wing activist organizations, they realized they struck gold when they found those people as potential plaintiffs, because they knew they could weaponize that and stand on the graves of the people that died to destroy Alex Jones' media empire. And by the way, that was their stated intention. That was their stated goal, was we're going to use this lawsuit to take him offline. And that is what they do. To Alex Jones, to Donald Trump, to the Tate brothers, Clavicular, me. Let's go looking for something, let's find something, and we'll use it to take them offline, either in a criminal court or a civil court or a British court or a Romanian court, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so let me just stop this video very fast because it was actually yesterday when Andrew Tate with his brother, they were arrested in Miami. So they're going to be facing the court in a couple of days, even maybe even weeks, and then possibly they're going to be sent with a plane to UK.
That's in the first place. So let's just put that out there. You don't have to like everything they say. You don't have to like everything they ever did. You don't have to think it's moral to recognize that what this is politically motivated, because at one point in time, Andrew and Tristan Tate were the most famous people in the world, and they were pushing a message which was anti-feminist, which was pro-masculine, in favor of men, against immigration, against wokeness, political correctness, liberalism, arguably democracy. And for that reason, they had to be silenced. Here's the other thing. What does it say about the Trump administration? Ostensibly, whatever you think about the Tate brothers, they're allies of this administration. They're right-wing, they're American citizens, they're boosters of Trump. Barron is a fan of them. And they're getting arrested. Not only are they getting arrested under the Trump administration, they're being arrested on behalf of the Labor government in the United Kingdom. I don't think there's an example of a more anti-white government in the world than the Labor government in the United Kingdom. How is it even possible? This is a country that persecutes people for speech. It's a country where if a young white guy is stabbed to death by a migrant, the migrant gets attended to first because he claims to be a victim of racism. It could not be more dystopian to live in the UK as a white person in 2026. We're going to let this country, which is effectively an enemy of the United States politically and ideologically, we're going to let this anti-white country that is against free speech, that is against the interests of the Trump administration, we're going to let them extradite from our own country a U.S. citizen and Trump ally on a Me Too charge? That's a national embarrassment. It's a national humiliation. And apparently Trump says he's not even going to intervene. For this to happen, it would require Marco Rubio to sign off on it. The Secretary of State would have to literally sign his name on the dotted line to get these people out of America. U.S. citizens, allies of the Trump government, and we're going to deliver them on a silver platter on Me Too charges to the Labor UK government that prosecutes dying white people and lets migrant rapists and murderers off the hook? Yeah, this is your golden age where Bill and Hillary Clinton are free, Barack Obama is free, Anthony Fauci is free. All these people they said they were going to indict have no trouble. As a matter of fact, they're being helped. Trump goes out of his way to protect Netanyahu, an actual war criminal, when he arrives in New York City, but the allies of this government are being raped to death by the legal system. Andrew and Tristan Tate aren't locked up under Biden, they're locked up under Trump. Make that one make sense. So if Andrew and Tristan Tate are deported, forget it, man. And I hope J.D. Vance does something about this. If Andrew and Tristan Tate get deported, what's going to be the excuse for him at that point? What can you do to Trump? Trump is what he is, whatever. He's term limited out of office. There's no way to put pressure on him. He doesn't listen to anybody anyways. What is J.D. Vance going to say? Wasn't this supposed to be a based administration, friendly to the posters and the people online? And I know there's a lot of pro-Trump people. They don't like Andrew and Tristan Tate, but I got news for you. The left does not discriminate whether it's Charlie Kirk or Andrew Tate. Right? Think about it. Under Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk got assassinated and Andrew Tate got extradited to the UK. That is what Trump is doing for us. Under Trump, Antifa reconstituted and tried to burn down ICE facilities and kill immigration officers. Charlie Kirk got shot in the face. Andrew and Tristan Tate got extradited on Me Too charges. That's your Trump administration. Under the Biden administration, Biden pardoned Hunter Biden. Biden protected his people. He gave preemptive pardons to his people. When the Democrats are in power, they arrest 1,800 Capitol rioters. They indict Donald Trump himself. They oversee Alex Jones being destroyed and all the rest of it. They help their friends. They punish their enemies. Trump gets elected. He doesn't do anything to our enemies. He lets them go free. And the allies of the administration, they get fucked over. Alex Jones is bankrupted under Trump. Charlie Kirk is shot under Trump. Andrew and Tristan Tate are extradited under Trump. What does Trump do for anybody in the right wing in this country? What does he do to nurture the radical right? Nothing. Has he stopped us from being censored? No. Has he stopped us from being debanked? No. Has he shut down any of these ridiculous civil suits? No. Has he shut down the mainstream media, which defames and slanders us? No. Has he suspended cooperation with the ADL? No. They brought him back. Shut down Antifa, look at their funding networks, nothing, not a thing about it. We're still getting killed out there, literally and figuratively, still getting attacked, still getting shot, still getting censored, slandered, lied about, in some cases prosecuted, extradited. So this would be yet another shameful stain on the second Trump administration if Rubio allows Andrew and Tristan Tate to be deported. And it does come down to him. He has to sign it. And you know what? Because Rubio is a pro-Israel Zionist, I'm sure he'd be happy to. Because Andrew and Tristan Tate have been critical of Israel in the past. That's why the Florida Attorney General was coming after them when they landed here. I'm sure for the same reason, Marco Rubio would be happy to sign that. Personnel is policy. This is your second Trump administration. So it's just a total farce. Stuff like this just should not be happening. It should not be happening. Have Andrew and Tristan Tate not suffered enough? How many years in prison, in solitary confinement, under house arrest, do you know they've never been convicted? They have not been convicted of a single crime and yet faced years in prison and solitary confinement, travel restrictions, harassed by Interpol and police, not convicted of a single thing. And then they fly to the United States under the golden age when it's all good, and they're going to get picked up and shipped out to the United Kingdom on behalf of literally the gayest, most anti-white country currently in existence. This sort of thing just should not be happening. We should be free from fear and free from the terror of the left when Trump is the president. Is that not the bare minimum? Okay, mass deportations are tricky. Okay, border wall takes time. Okay, I guess war with Iran and Ukraine is a little more complicated than we thought. Like, maybe you're willing to make allowances for these things. I'm certainly not, but maybe you are. At the bare minimum, we should not live in fear of the terror of the left when Donald Trump is the fucking president. It should not just be going on like this. Alex Jones is still bankrupt. Charlie Kirk is dead. Candace Owens is being sued by France. Andrew and Tristan Tate are being extradited to the UK. I'm still banned from all social media. How is this right? How is this fair? We won. Our side won, and yet the terror continues. And that is everything to do with our DOJ and our Secretary of State and our president. And notice, the benefits go to everybody else. Barry Weiss is rich. Larry Ellison is rich. Ben Shapiro is rich. These people are being helped by their friends in the government. We are fucked. The Jews are enriched by this administration, literally. Larry Ellison gives Barry Weiss a $150 million golden parachute, and Trump gave him TikTok in a bilateral trade deal with China. They're doing fine. Shapiro's company crashes and burns. Let's just raise another $100 million in strategic investments from Israel or whatever. They're doing fine. But the actual OG Trump supporters, the actual people that were there from the beginning, what do we get? Nothing. Nothing. We're left picking up the pieces. We have all been destroyed in our own way. Cernovich was talking about this the other day. I don't like him, but he made a good point. He said, all these political people call me, billionaires call me, he says, and they want consultation and help. He goes, what are you going to do for me? He said, our lives were destroyed. What are you going to do to make us whole? What have you done for us? You can't ask for anything. You've done nothing for us. And it's true.
All right, now, so there you have it, guys. That was Niche Fuentes, and he was speaking about Andrew Tate and his brother. And to be honest, it doesn't look good at all for Andrew Tate and his brother. And they're going to be in court very soon. And after that, if he signs off, when it comes to the documents, then they're going to be extradited to UK. If you ask me, I think that it's not going to happen because Andrew, he has connections with the Trump family, especially Baron Trump, So I think that that's highly unlikely that Rubio is going to sign this off and send him to UK, So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. So make sure to like this video, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.